I suppose it's tempting, if the only tool you have is a hammer, to treat everything as if it were a nail. Today I'm going to show you what it looks like when someone else recklessly wields a hammer. Bulletberry is a YouTuber who makes a series called A True Service. The idea behind that series is that he features companies that have somehow done him wrong in the past. On paper that sounds pretty normal, until it gets to a level where you complain about every little thing, then it just evolves into mindless whining. Bulletberry recently put out a video called Twitch A True Service, and now you'll all be able to see for yourselves just how recklessly he wields his hammer. Just as a heads up, I'm going to be skipping over the first minute of his video because he just goes on a small rant about Instagram and it's not really the main point of the video. I'll provide the link to the original video in the description so you can see if you want and make sure I'm not taking anything out of context.
For the longest time, I never could understand what the appeal to Twitch was. Who wants to sit there and watch some random nobody play video games? And really, that was a shallow way of looking at it. But from the outside, that's all I saw. It wasn't until I started streaming myself that I realized Twitch is such an excellent way to hang out with your community. Yeah, you can game, but you're hanging out with everybody and playing games with them and laughing and joking, and it's not about the streamer as much as I initially thought. But Twitch, like everything, has its faults, and we're going to dig into those. As a streaming service, Twitch has over the years run into some complications. Things like booby streamers, doxers, people lying about being paraplegic. I mean, for the love of God, swatters have been a known issue for years now. People legitimately calling SWAT and sending them to streamers' houses in hopes they get killed. But none of these things are Twitch's fault, as the internet can be a dangerous place.
Obviously, the internet can be a dangerous place, but at the same time, Twitch has realized it can deal with some of those problems on its own. You mentioned booby streamers, for example. Well, guess what? Twitch heard the complaints and started issuing a dress code for its streamers. But let me guess, that isn't your real complaint about Twitch, is it?
The real issue when it comes to Twitch is their blacklist. See, Twitch is a family-friendly website. I mean, streamers can swear all they want to, they can play violent video games for the most part, but when it comes to sexual games, Twitch is not okay with it.
Well, no shit. Obviously, Twitch is not going to be okay with sexually explicit games being played on their website, and the one simple reason for that is because of advertisers. Advertisers are what allow Twitch to exist in the first place. Twitch makes money off of ads, streamers make money off of ads. The reason that there are even full-time streamers to begin with is because of ads. And it's advertisers like Logitech, for example, who don't want their ad being played shortly before some borderline pornography game is played by someone with their tits hanging out.
Now, that may seem like common sense. Twitch has said in the past that they are not nor ever want to be related in any way to Pornhub. If you want your sex, go find it elsewhere, but this is also a restriction that gets in the way a lot more than you might think. Games like genital jousting are surprisingly a lot of fun. Not only is this game very well made, but offers a ton of gameplay that actually made me forget what the content entailed. I legitimately enjoy playing this game with my friends, but that kind of fun is not allowed on Twitch.
Look, the reason genital jousting, even though it is a fun game, as I've played it before myself, is banned is because it does violate the Twitch community guidelines when it comes to sexual content. I mean, for fuck's sake, it's a game where dicks fuck each other in the ass.
Okay, Barry, look. I know where this is going. You hate the whole censorship thing and you're fabricating this to make it seem like a big deal. Well, not really, at least I don't think I am. See, the problem is not that I can't play those games on Twitch. It's that these games are prohibited, and if I ever dare to even think about playing them, I will be banned. In the past, other services offer a workaround. Hell, even YouTube streaming service is less restrictive in that literally no games are prohibited at all.
Look, if you truly think Twitch is censoring you, and if you truly think YouTube is a much better streaming platform, then why don't you just migrate over there and tell your viewers that you'll now only be streaming on YouTube?
If I were so inclined, I could play any game I wanted to on there. Plus, I'm partnered on YouTube, so I'd make money off my streams. I wouldn't have to wait for the whole Twitch verified crap at all.
Well, okay then. Sounds like you've got enough incentives, so pack up and move to YouTube and we can put this all behind us.
Now, I get that YouTube is a whole different streaming machine, but the point is, Twitch is the guy who wants it his way and will not accept any alternative. Hey Twitch, I have an idea. Why don't you allow the streamer to set an 18+ tag onto their stream? That way, if kids younger than that want to view, they proactively have to lie about their birthday, and they're the ones liable, not you. I understand you want to cover your butt here, but this way you don't have to worry so much about banning anyone for wanting that little extra freedom. And if someone doesn't add the 18+ tag and they play sexually explicit games, then you can ban them. What do you say? Sound like a good idea?
Barry, there's one tiny little problem with what you just said. It already exists. A streamer can mark their content for mature audiences only, then whenever a new viewer tries to watch, they'll be given a prompt as to whether or not they want to watch it because of the mature content.
No? Oh, good. Glad I even said anything. Barry, every company, every service has at least one thing wrong with it. You don't have to go out of your way to nitpick every small thing.
And it is at this point I'd like to refer to my previous statement. If the only tool you have is a hammer, you treat everything as if it were a nail.
Well, that's not all I have for you. If you look at the games Twitch has blacklisted, you'll notice a lot of these games aren't actually sexually explicit. I mean, you'll definitely come across a few, and a lot of these games don't look that good anyway, but you'll notice quite a few of these games are anime-inspired. Twitch seems to have a prejudice against anime, and some developers cannot understand why.
You know, it's actually funny that you mentioned this, because according to the Twitch list of prohibited games, of which I'll leave a link in the description to, there are 62 games banned from being played on Twitch. This consists of all AO-rated games by the ESRB, as well as 35 games selected by Twitch due to those games violating their community guidelines. Of those 62 games banned from Twitch, only 34 of them contain anime. That's roughly 54.8% of the games on the ban list. So if Twitch is really trying to discriminate against anime, then they're doing a pretty bad job of it.
Take a game called Yandere Simulator, for example. In the game, you play as a Japanese high school serial killer. To be fair, there are suggestive themes in the game pertaining to the female body, definitely, but not once will you see any full nudity.
Whoa! Time out, whoa! Partial nudity is not the reason Yandere Simulator was banned. It's the fact that the game involves murdering children, which is why it was banned. It's not even a side activity in that game that you can bypass like GTA. It's the only way you can progress in the game. In fact, here's a quote from their website. Yandere Simulator is a stealth game about stalking a young man and secretly eliminating anyone who seems interested in him, while maintaining the image of an innocent student.
Regardless, this game is banned. The developer tried multiple times to contact Twitch, and they never replied to the poor guy. So not only is his game banned on Twitch, he loses out on that Twitch advertisement for his upcoming game, and they won't even tell him the reason behind its ban so that he could at least try to go out and fix it. I mean, seriously, if you're not going to allow the game, at least tell the guy why. If you hate anime, just say so. Yeah, we'll look down on you for that because that's kind of a stupid reason to restrict us from playing games with our communities, but at least we'll be informed.
Okay, for clarity's sake, it's worth pointing out that the developer of Yandere Simulator did receive a reply from Twitch, and Barry later went on to note this in his comments section for his video. However, it is also worth pointing out that Twitch explicitly states how to get off of the banned list, and the way to do that is to get the ESRB to change your rating from AO to M for mature.
Barry, the game is banned on Twitch because it portrays children in a sexual way, and the game is based around murdering children. See, and I can get behind that, but what about Skyrim mods that let you kill kids? Those are okay. What about South Park Stick of Truth? Are you seriously going to tell me that there isn't child killing in that game? This show is made famous for the line, "He killed Kenny," and saying a statement like, portraying children in a sexual way, is firstly a very vague stipulation, and secondly done in many other games that are not banned.
Alright, look, first of all, the reason South Park The Stick of Truth isn't banned is because it has fantasy violence, not real violence. Obviously, it has children fighting each other, but it gets around the whole premise of death, quote-unquote, by using the same fainting excuse that Pokemon does. And if someone is portraying a bunch of nudity or graphic violence mods on Skyrim, then any viewer can report the channel to Twitch, and Twitch will ban the channel for violating the community guidelines. The reason Twitch doesn't list Skyrim nudity mods or anything else like that is because there are way too many of them and there are new ones added and removed all the time. Going beyond that, Twitch even states in its list of prohibited games that it's a non-exhaustive list and can always be changed based on community feedback.
Oh, and even if Yandere Simulator is an awful game for that particular reason, why are there so many other anime-style games blocked on Twitch?
To put it simply, because the games on the list of prohibited games violate the community guidelines in one way or another?
Granted, a lot of them are extremely sexualized, but there are others that are extremely mild as well. So what the hell, Twitch? We just want to play games with our communities. Now, if I'm being honest here, I would probably never play a lot of these games that you have on your blacklist. However, dictating what we can and cannot play is your right, but is a really bad business practice for you.
In reference to my previous statement, the reason Twitch bans certain games is so that they can guarantee to advertisers that their advertisements won't be played next to something like children being murdered, pornography, rape, extreme violence, and so on.
I think the thing you need to understand, Twitch, is that the internet is vast, and we have other places to go. You gotta look out for your consumers because as time goes on, people will start to realize that this other side over here lets me play all the games Twitch does, and more, and eventually that will catch up to you. All I'm saying is, be a service and don't become a pest. You know what people do when they see a pest? They start swatting. Oh, and screw you, Instagram.
Now that we've reached the end of the video and Barry's properly ripped Twitch a new asshole, he uploaded the video on March 8th and guess where he's been streaming ever since then? To those of you still here at the end now, I get to give you all my final thoughts. If I had to take a guess as to why Barry made this true service video, it seems like Barry wanted to do a live stream of genital jousting gameplay, then either got caught by a Twitch admin or noticed the banned game list, and then without thinking turned on his mic and started recording a rant against Twitch. At the end of it all, he finally gets to his main point by saying something along the lines of Twitch is a bad business and is demonstrating bad business practices. If Barry's watching this right now, then I've got one question for you. If Twitch is such a bad business, then why do you continue to stream on their platform? After all, you were mad enough about Twitch's business practices to make a video about it, and you've said yourself multiple times in the past that the consumer is king above all else, and companies should be begging you for your time and money, so why not set the example for your viewers? And before anyone jumps to conclusions and thinks that I hate Bullet Barry or something like that, I would like to state for the record that that isn't true. I love most of his content. I've done the thumbnail artwork for his 4 Horsemen of PC Gaming podcast, and hell, we're even friends on Steam. But recently, he's been turning out videos like this one that I just covered, and as long as he continues to do so, I'll continue to call him out on them. And for a final note, if there's anyone who thinks that I've done something similar to swearing off companies for small problems, then I've just got one thing to say to you. You know nothing of the Sisyphean torment I am forced to stumble through in this cacophonous existence.